Welcome back to Mountain Connections. Right now we are joined by Mark Kinnebrew, founder of Impact Basketball. Looking forward to learning more about Mark. And that's just one of the many things that he's involved with. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to speaking with you. And it sounds to me as if basketball is really the vehicle that has brought you to where you are today. And not only that, has taught you a lot about life.
Yeah, absolutely. Basketball's been a part of my life since I was little. I've always had a passion of working with kids. Um, when I was going to school, I went to school to play basketball, but along the way, I was also getting my teaching degree, and I've just always had a passion for kids and working with kids and helping kids in any way I can.
And what is it specifically about basketball? You've had a passion for it since you were a child, love the game, but I think it also lends itself to teaching a lot of life lessons. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the kids that I get the opportunity to work with, um, I think a lot of times my time with them, the mentorship, and then the time I get to spend with them helps so much more off the court than it does on the court. I always try to make myself available for any and all players, and really take an interest in what they're doing in school and just outside the sport. And it's just the sport that connects us and brings us together.
And that leads to what you're doing today, specifically with Impact Basketball and with IPT North Dakota. Tell me about all those things.
Yeah, so IPT is my training program. I have a 7,200 square foot facility here where I'm at in Bismarck. I also have my program running a couple other spots around the state, so we're growing statewide. Um, so that's the training side, and then we also have Impact Basketball, which is more on the game side. We have teams, and we take teams to tournaments. So we really try to help kids take what they're learning from the training side of things and implement that on the courts and in game situations. And like you said, just helping kids with life lessons and how to handle different situations with coaches and fans and traveling and how you act in hotels and just a lot of stuff. So that's the impact side of it. But it's been great being able to combine the two and get a lot more kids into either program. Using one of the programs to get kids into the other program.
You are training kids with all aspects of basketball, and not only individual students, but teams as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We offer a wide range of training, whether it's personal training, small group, team training. There's a lot of specialized things that we get into from a skills perspective, ball handling, coordination. I mean, we work on jumping and just flexibility and body position. A lot of stuff that kids just don't get at your typical camp or trainers that don't dig into the details of skills the way we do.
When you look back at everything you've been able to accomplish within the sport of basketball and your career, what made you decide to go this route, this training, teaching, mentorship route?
Back when my own kids were getting a little older, I wanted to find a way to stay with the sport. So I guess when I was kind of just getting into it, I was doing, my kids were in Y League and I was a Y League coach. And I wanted to, as my kids were getting older and they weren't going to be in Y League anymore, they're hitting more middle school and then on to high school. I wanted to find a way to still be able to help and stay a part of it. And so I was actually going to go back to school and finish my teaching degree and you do that whole thing, become a teacher, high school coach, and stay involved that way. But along the way, I came across, it's called I'm Possible Training, became really good friends with the owner and the founder of I'm Possible, Michael Lancaster. And I have found a way over the years to be able just to train and not necessarily have to be a teacher in a school system, and still be be able to provide and help kids like I've always wanted to do.
When you think back on the mentorship, the training that you've done so far, are there any teams or individual athletes that really stand out to you, or any stories that are things that you'll always remember about why you're doing this?
I probably get that every day. I've been doing this so long, and especially when I get to see kids that started back in first, second grade, and they're now hitting middle school, high school age. Just being able to be a part of the growth and see the growth that kids go through over an extended amount of time is always very humbling. I've had the opportunity to train and work with NBA players and NBA teams. So those are always fun. Those are always fun to do, great experiences. But I always just love seeing kids, younger kids, go from point A to point B or Z or wherever that might be, and just the growth on and off the court that I get to see on a daily basis is why I do it.
And speaking of growth, your business is exploding, and now you have these two different schools, ways to train these athletes, these teams. How has it been to transition from, this individual mentorship, team membership, to now you're managing these multiple businesses doing just that as well?
It's been a lot. It's always tricky trying to juggle everything, especially when I have my own kids and grandkids. And big part of it is finding other trainers that are just as passionate about everything as I am. So that's always the hard part. And that's actually where we start when we're growing across the state and we're looking to open other locations or start the program in other locations. It always starts with finding the right trainer. And then we'll look at moving forward. So it's a lot of times it can be a slow process. But I'm definitely not trying to stretch myself too thin and travel more than I need to, because like I said, I've with my own kids, and I got into this years ago, so I would be available and not miss my own kids' activities. So just being an entrepreneur and having my own business and having that flexibility is a big part of why I got into it, and I'm just never going to give that up. So we make it work however it needs to work, and as long as we find the right trainers that help it grow, we'll be able to keep growing.
And what do you see as coming next for you and your business?
Right now I've kind of taken a turn in helping other trainers. So I've started a coaching program of my own to really help other basketball trainers essentially get to where I'm at, have your own facility, and be able to do what I do every day. Take trainers, take what was probably a hobby for them and turn it into a full-time business. So that's something here in the last six to 8 months that I've really started to push and reach out to other trainers and really help them on the business side of things. I think that's something that basketball trainers probably in general are missing is the whole business side of running a business and doing this full time. So that's something that when I started, I didn't have. It was a lot of trial and error. So now I'm trying to make myself available to other trainers that are also trying to impact kids and do what I do full time.
Mark, where can we find more information about you and all of your programs?
Website, markkinnebrew.com. Facebook also, which is just Mark Kinnebrew. Instagram, Mark_Kinnebrew. Yeah, all social media outlets should be fairly easy to find.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, learning about you, your priorities, family life, business, basketball. We wish you all the luck in the world and hope that you will join us once again right here on Park City Television. We'll be back with more after this.